riots. This is something that is happening throughout the world. We've got a story today on InfoWars. George Soros saying he's concerned that we're getting close to World War III. Is he concerned, or is that really what he's trying to do? We know that he's been behind, in his NGO organizations that he's been funding, have been behind these color movements that have been happening throughout Eastern Europe. They are intricately involved with what's going on in the Ukraine, pushing that into a confrontation, reviving the Cold War, and then he comes out as if he's really concerned that we're going to have World War III. Of course we're going to have World War III if he is successful. That is what he's working for. At the same time, all this is going on. We had one fellow who was at the rally saying, we need to look at globalism. Globalism is killing more people than abortion. Listen, you need to understand what's going on globally, but you always need to act locally. Understand what the big picture is, but understand also that it is at the local level, like these abortion protests, like local government, where you can make the greatest effect. But what is happening globally? Let's understand where we're going with this TPP and fast track. It has just now cleared another hurdle today. The vote was 62 rather than the 65 that they had to a cloture vote that they had a week ago on last Thursday. It began this process of giving the Trade Promotion Authority, giving authority to Obama's U.S. trade representative, who has been negotiating this treaty for years in secret with corporate lobbyists. Now they have the treaty ready. Now they're trying to give formal authority to them. So it began with a filibuster last week. The filibuster was shut down with a cloture vote last Thursday. Mitch McConnell said they're going to push the fast track authority, the Trade Promotion Authority. They're going to push that through this week. Once they do, understand that the TPP is finished. They're going to lay it on the table, and they're going to say to our congressmen, sign it. No amendments, you just sign it. As I've pointed out on the nightly news, this is the formal recognition of the fact that power has transferred. It's very similar to what happened at Runnymede with the Magna Carta, the big charter. This was a big charter where the nobles came to King John, and they said, you're going to sign this, and it was something that they had written. He hadn't written it. He didn't like what it was because it devolved power away from him to them. They elevated themselves to be peers of the realm. In other words, we are as important as you are, King John. No amendments for King John. He didn't write any of it. They just put it down, and they said, sign it. That is what's going on with the Trans-Pacific Partnership now. Our congressmen, our representatives, the people, we are not allowed to see that. We, the people who created the government, we, the people who set up a constitutional republic, we have no stake in this. We are not stakeholders. They are now formalizing what is an accomplished fact. The fact that power has transferred out of Washington to these multinational corporations who have written it. Now today, as Congress moved one step closer to passing this, we see the Electronic Frontier Foundation talking about how hundreds of tech companies have written a letter, an open letter to Congress, saying that TPP and fast track harms digital innovation and users' rights. This is more than 250 technology companies and user rights organizations in a joint letter. They say that the TPP threatens digital innovation, threatens free speech, threatens access to knowledge online. They say that giving this trade promotion authority to the U.S. trade representative legitimizes this secretive process. That's precisely it. That's why this bill is so important. You need to get a hold of your reps, and you need to say, we see what you're doing. If you vote for this fast-tracked authority, you are legitimizing a secretive process. Listen to this quote from an author, and I had this right here. It is right here. This is an author, science fiction author, Cory Doctorow. This is what he said about this whole process. He said, democracies make their laws in public, not in smoke-filled rooms. If the TPP's backers truly believed that they were doing the people's work, they would have invited the people into the room. The fact that they went to extreme, unprecedented measures to stop anyone from finding out what was going on, even going so far as to threaten Congress with jail if they spoke about it, tells you that this is something that is being done to Americans, not for Americans. Do you understand that? When Rand Paul complained about the secretive process at the end of last week, there was a response from the U.S. Trade Representative said he can go down and read the agreement. But what he didn't say is that he could not tell anyone what he had seen. He said he can go take notes. But what he didn't tell you is that he cannot show those notes to anyone. That is the kind of railroading. And again, as I said, this is a formalization of the process that power has already been transferred. Now, they also go on to point out in this Guardian story, they say notably absent from the list, from this open letter that was signed by 250 technology companies, noticeably absent from that list are the big international tech companies like Apple, Google, Facebook. And he points out that Apple and AT&T are part of the president's International Trade Advisory Committee, okay, which is involved in negotiating this. They say, of course, their representatives have presumably been able to read sections of the bill that would apply to their industry. Let me give you another quote from one of the people who is one of these technology companies that has signed this letter. This is from David Hanson. Now, he's written a program you may have seen, Basecamp. We've used that here at the office. He also has created a development platform, Ruby on Rails. He says, this is a mockery of democratic legislative ideals. It's shrouded in secrecy exactly because it would wither in sunlight. Think about that. Let that sink in. It is shrouded in secrecy because it would wither in sunlight. Understand that it isn't just these secret trade deals. Virtually everything our government does is shrouded in secrecy because it would wither in sunlight. Virtually everything. The more our government spies on us, the more it ramps up the surveillance state, the more jealously they guard their secrets, their government secrets, their individual secrets. They become manic about guarding everything that they have. And again, this goes back to the other big issue that has been percolating for the last couple of weeks, Jade Helm. Understand that when they talk about mastering the human domain, they are talking about merging the nexus of the Homeland Security police state, the NSA surveillance state, the technology companies of the military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us about, and now the military. Putting the special forces out there. Admiral McRaven was talking years ago about how they needed to return to their original mission of PSYOPs and controlling local governments, shutting down movements, anticipating movements, shutting them down before they happened. That is what is going on. We see in this mastering the human domain, that is the stated purpose of geospatial intelligence, of human domain analytics, all these technological buzzwords. This is the growth area of surveillance to collect everything about you, everything about who you know, what you do, the groups you belong to, and your demographics. Make no mistake about it. There is a genocide component to this. Initially, we're going to have political totalitarianism, but what grows out of that political totalitarianism is always a genocidal movement that grows out of that. We saw that happen with Nazi Germany as well. We need to be very concerned about the authoritarian, secretive police state that is merging. And this is how you need to understand this. This is not just for foreigners any more than the NSA or the CIA are about just watching foreigners either. Special forces are offering themselves as boots on the ground for the surveillance police state. That was the wording of Admiral McRaven a couple of years ago, saying they needed physical boots on the ground to build their information database about the human domain in order to master it. See, first they master us politically, then the master race will appear. That is the long-term plan of this. That is what you need to understand. The exercise of seeing how people are going to react to it, the mapping out of people. And once they map us out, those maps are not going away any more than that data that they're storing in Utah is going to go away. Stay with us. We're going to be right back, and we're going to see what's happening there at the live rally in front of Planned Parenthood, where the Red Guard, Austin, showed up to censor free speech. Stay with us. We'll be right back. It was the Red Guard of Austin. We matched pictures of several of the people there. Ironically, marching a few weeks ago between signs that held up the hammer and sickle and Black Lives Matter. Our whole point in going to this rally was to tell people, yes, black lives do matter. They matter no matter how old those lives are. To try to educate people about the genocidal eugenics origins of Margaret Sanger, about her beliefs, about what she said, about the purpose of Planned Parenthood that she founded, essentially to attack specific groups and to shut them down. Now, as this rally was going peacefully, calmly, people were holding up signs. This group showed up with black tarps, holding them in front of other people's signs. See, they have nothing to say. They merely want to black out what you have to say. The only comments we were ever able to get out of them were, you are racist, you are sexist. That's it. No substantiation. That's the narrative that you continually see over and over again. And that's the way these AstroTurf groups that were funded by George Soros, as we pointed out yesterday, these AstroTurf groups that started this Black Lives Matter, that is what they're trying to do, is divide and conquer the population. It is a Marxist organization at the very core. That is what's behind this. Certainly black lives do matter. We want to see police brutality stopped. We want to have a conversation about the legitimate use of the police and the legitimate use of force. We want accountability in the police department because, as Frank Serpico, the guy behind the movie that you've probably seen with Al Pacino, as he's pointed out many times, in any organization, it's not just the police, it's any human organization. You're going to have good people and bad people. The question about the organization is, will they purge the bad people? Will they punish people when they do the wrong thing? So we need to make sure that our police departments do that. But we were at this rally to point out to people that black lives matter at all ages, to point out what is going on with Planned Parenthood and the roots of it. And of course, they showed up, censored it. Alex ran to the protest. Once he got there, they disappeared. And then they came back as a group screaming, "Excuse me," assaulting people, grabbed the microphone, cut or broke the cable, damaged one of the microphones, and ran off. So they're sorting that out now with the police. We're going to have an update on that tonight on the Nightly News. If you're not a Nightly News subscriber, please consider doing that and supporting our operation. You'll get the information that shows up a day or so later on YouTube. You'll get it as it's happening. And so tonight we're going to have an update as to what's going on at this rally. Also, we skipped several commercial breaks during this program because of this breaking news. Just want to let you know that there are 72 hours left on our summer sale. The all-new Super Male Vitality is now 20% off. You can get it. This is your last chance. 72 hours left on this sale. Again, read the reviews on InfoWarsLife.com. Decide for yourself. There's hundreds of 5-star reviews. It's a way that you can help yourself, help your family, and support our operation. And if you want to know what else is happening with InfoWars, you can sign up to our free Alex Jones Insider newsletter. You'll get exclusive videos, daily content, special discounts before they're made public. It'll be emailed to you, access to send in your requests, your tips, and feedback directly to us. It is completely free. It's just a way to keep up to date with what's going on with that. Now, again, as I pointed out, we have a story that's up on Infowars.com. If you want to see, this is a perfect metaphor. These people showing up and using black tarps to try to cover up other people's free speech. It wasn't that they had anything to say. They just don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to know the origins of Planned Parenthood. But it's going to come out. And now we have a beautiful picture of exactly what they're doing. Thanks for joining us. Join us again tomorrow at 11 Central. Oh, we're going to go into overdrive. I think Alex is going to be with us, so hang on. If you're online, we're going to be right back in overdrive. But the protest was, they attempted to shut it down. They didn't shut it down. It's still going. But we had people from the Red Guard Austin, communist agitators, if you will. I know that's almost a cliche phrase, but if it fits, wear it. These people showed up, tried to shut down the protesters. When Alex came, they cut the microphone. They ran off. They damaged the microphone. So he was there talking to the police about what had happened. He is on his way back. That is the way they deal with you. They try to shut your free speech down. That is the characteristics that you see over and over again of the authoritarians. They don't want you to have informed consent. The same people who try to present themselves as pro-choice When it comes to abortion, they say, I would want people to be able to make